2034. The aggregate amount of those payments is $41,750. The discount present value of those purchase payments at a federal interest rate of 1.8% is $36,839.86. The total amount payable to Mr. Giacomo is $22,500. There are no deductions for attorney's fees or other associated expenses, and this is equivalent to an effective interest rate of approximately 10.16%.
Okay, and tell me, what was the aggregate amount again?
The aggregate amount is $41,750.
And you said the discounted amount is $36,839.36?
86 cents, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was close. And then the amount that would be paid to Ms. DiGiacomo is $22,500?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And are there still additional payments after that? I think you said it was April 2024?
That I would have to ask Mr. Giacomo. Unfortunately, my client did not provide me the full amount of the structured settlement, if any remains. I can check my file here relatively quickly. I believe Mr. Giacomo.
I could tell you.
Okay.
If I'm still alive, I'll get the full amount starting May of 2034, which would be $796.80 after that, because it goes until I die.
Okay.
And I'm planning on sticking. I'm planning on sticking around.
That sounds like a good plan. Okay, so Mr. Rivera, did you anything else that you wanted to tell me?
I have nothing further with regard to the transaction, but if Your Honor would like, I'd be more than happy to voir dire Mr. Giacomo.
Sure, that's great. You can proceed.
All right. Okay, Mr. Giacomo, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Because we're doing this via video, there may be a little bit of a lag or a delay in between. So all I'm going to ask is that wait until I finish my question before you start your answer. That way we're not overlapping each other or anything like that, okay?
Okay.
All right. And Mr. Giacomo, how old are you?
I'm 64 going on 65.
All right. And what's your highest level of education?
High school.
All right. And Mr. Giacomo, do you currently live in your own home or do you rent?
I live in my own home.
Okay. And Mr. Giacomo, are you currently employed?
No. I'm on disability on Social Security.
Okay. So would it be fair to say then that this coronavirus issue that's come to pass recently, that hasn't affected your income in any way, insofar as you haven't lost a job or anything, is that correct?
No.
Okay. And Mr. Giacomo, who lives with you at your residence?
My two puppies.
Okay.
Mickey and Vinny.
So other than your two dogs, is there anyone that is you're legally responsible to take care of? No husband, no children, no minor children, anything like that?
Well, no minor children. I have two full-grown children.
Okay.
My daughter's married, and she's financially, and my son is single, but he has his own place, and he's a manager, so he makes good money.
Okay, so the only person you're responsible to support is yourself. Is that correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. And Mr. Giacomo, so I want to talk to you a little bit about the structured settlement. So I understand you're receiving payments under an annuity policy. What is that policy from? Was that as a result of a lawsuit that you were involved in?
Yes, I had a bad fall, and oh gosh, I disappeared.
That's okay. We can still hear you.
Okay, I'm coming. Okay, I was in a play at church, and I fell from the second floor into an adult baptismal, which was either cement or marble, and I hit my head on there's like a flight of stairs in there. I hit my head on there, and next thing I know, I was hearing people screaming, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And all I could say is, I'm down here, because I didn't know where I was. And they carried me out, and they took me into the gym, and they gave me an ice pack.
Okay. And
but that's where it's from, because I had over $300,000 in medical bills I couldn't afford to pay, so I had to get the money so I could pay off the bills and medical bills and hospital bills.
mhm. Okay. And Mr. Giacomo, do you remember how old you were at the time this incident happened?
49, I believe.
Okay. So
It
this
was in 2005.
Okay, so this was the result of an injury you sustained as an adult. This wasn't something that happened when you were a child and then someone settled this on your behalf. You settled this, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And Mr. Giacomo, as a result of that fall, do you have any injuries currently that you're still seeing a doctor for any reason related to that fall?
Yeah, short-term memory loss. I have really bad migraines. When I get them, I can't even get out of bed. Sometimes I get so sick that I have to be rushed to the hospital because I got what they call internal migraines, where I start to throw up and then I get dehydrated, and then they have to go to the hospital and they have to hook me up with the IVs and stuff for a couple of days, and then usually I'm okay after that. But it happens anywhere from 5 to 15 to 20 days a month. So I had a good job. I was a manager for the limited Victoria's Secret, and I lost. They only held my job for a year, and I wasn't able to go back to work because of, like I said, I had some issues where I I was falling asleep all the time, short-term memory loss, and it's kind of hard to be a trainer and hirer when you forget what you said 5 minutes before that. So I lost my good job, my job, and then I've been on disability ever since.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And now, Mr. Giacomo, when you do have to go to the hospital and those instances happen, do you have private health insurance, Medicaid or Medicare that takes care of those bills?
Medicare, but then like I said, so there's sometimes there's if they're not satisfied, they might send me a bill for a couple bucks here or there.
Okay. About on average, how much is?
And I also have Humana.
Okay, and is Humana like?
Well, if I go to a hospital and I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Oh, I was just gonna, is Humana like a separate health insurance company that will help you pay for bills?
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Giacomo, so it sounds like you suffered a pretty significant head injury, and you mentioned that it can affect your short-term memory and things like that. Does it affect your ability to manage your finances or anything along those lines?
No, like I said, usually it happens when I get really tired. If I'm up too many hours, and then I go to sleep and I kind of recharge, and then I'm better. Because when it first happened, I couldn't talk. I couldn't walk, and I was falling all the time. So I've come a long way since then.
Okay. And now, Mr. Giacomo, with regard to this transaction, you were advised by my client that you had the right to have an attorney or an independent financial advisor review this with you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And my understanding is that you waived that right. That is, you didn't speak with an attorney or a financial advisor. Is that correct?
Well, I did. Yeah, I waived it for attorney, but my son-in-law, he's retired right now, but he's a loan officer, and he's very intelligent, and at a bank. And I went over it with him, and he said everything was fine.
Okay, so you did have the opportunity to speak about this transaction with someone who has experience in finance and banking.
Yes, I have.
Okay, did you speak with anyone else about this transaction besides your son-in-law?
No.
Okay, and
Well, just J.G. Wentworth.
Oh, yeah, of course, the people at J.G. Wentworth, yes. Now, you understand that while I'm an attorney, I'm J.G. Wentworth's attorney. I am not your attorney.
I know.
Okay. And Mr. Giacomo, so if the judge approves this transaction today, You're looking to receive $22,500. What are your plans for the money if the judge approves this transaction?
Well, my windows are all leaking, so I have to replace my windows. I'm in a one-story single home, so there's like 11 or 12 windows that need to be done. And I also, I have a problem back in November 2019. I had a stroke on in the beginning of October, and I was hospitalized for a little bit. And then they put me on all these different medications, and they had put me on too many medications for my migraines, and which was giving me what they call vivid dreams. And when I would be dreaming, I thought this is what was going on in real life. And I was fighting people and defending myself. And I fell out of bed and I hit my temple real hard and had a concussion. And then a couple weeks later, I had another bad dream. And I dreamed that these people were chasing me around my house and somebody sucker punched me. So I went to hit them back. And the next thing I know, I fell again and I hit my jaw. And honest to God, when I looked in the mirror, you would have thought I was in a fight. My whole face was like mangled, like my lips were swollen. And it was, my face was swollen. They thought, when I went to the hospital, they actually thought that I broke my jaw. And they said I was lucky I didn't. So I didn't have to get it wired shut. So after I went down to my family doctor after that, and I said, look, it's got to be one of these medicines, because this is all the medicines they gave me since I've been in the hospital. I've never had trouble like this before. So they found out what the medication was, and here they were giving me 3 different medications for my migraine, and apparently that's just too much. So they cut the one medication out, and he said, my doctor knew right away which one it was. And ever since then, I haven't had any issues with it. But like I said, if you would have saw me when I woke up and I looked in the mirror, it looked like somebody beat the crap out of me. I said, boy, what a dream. Or I should say, what a nightmare.
Okay. And we spoke about this briefly beforehand when we were trying to get the Zoom thing set up. So what you mentioned to me was that it was the windows, and then also you need to have some dental work done. That is, veneers put in due to that fall.
Yes, I forgot to mention when I fell the second time, I knocked out a couple teeth, and like I said, and then there's a couple broken teeth in there, and then my jaw every time I eat, I'm in so much pain that I can't eat without enduring pain. So I want to get it fixed. So and besides, for like vanity, and just the fact is, when people look at somebody with broken teeth in their mouth, it looks like you don't have any respect for yourself, or you don't care about yourself. And I do, and I hate walking around like this. So I want to get my teeth done as well.
Okay, so it'll be for the windows, significant dental work for your teeth. Anything else you can think of that you would plan to use this money for?
Yeah, my puppies are due for their 3-year checkup, and that runs about $500 with their shots and the tests they have to get. I got two puppies. They're going to be 3 years old, so they're due for all that. Okay.
All right. And now, Mr. Giacomo, with regard to this transaction, and I have to ask this of everyone, I don't mean anything personal by it. At the time you entered into this transaction with my client, which would have been a few months ago, were you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what you were doing at the time?
No.
Okay, and right now, as we sit here before the judge, are you under the influence of any, again, drugs, alcohol, medication, anything that would affect your ability, again, to understand what's going on, or your ability to tell the truth before the judge here today?
No.
Were you pressured, threatened, coerced, or forced into this transaction against your will in any way whatsoever?
No.
Would you like any additional time to either review the transaction, speak with a financial advisor, or for any reason whatsoever?
No, I trust my son-in-law. He's very smart, and he knows what he's doing, and he wouldn't advise me badly. So I trust him. And I've talked to a couple other places who were trying to take my business away from your company, and everybody I talked to said it was a good deal.
Okay, so you did have the opportunity to shop this around and speak with other companies and see if they were able to offer any additional money.
Yes, and they said that what I have is a good deal, and they said I would take it.
Okay. All right. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So, Ms. Giacomo, I do have a couple of questions for you. I think Mr. Rivera has gone over mostly everything that I would have also asked you. I just want to make sure that you understand just to confirm that you understand the terms of this agreement, which means that the payments that you would have received between June 16th of this year, 2020, and April 16th of 2034 of $250 per month will no longer be paid to you, and instead you'll receive $22,500 from J.G. Wentworth. You understand that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, and you understand that the aggregate amount that would be worth would have been $41,750, or a discounted amount of $36,839.86.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And why do you think that it's better for you to receive this $22,500 lump sum payment rather than receiving the payments between June of 2020 and April of 2034?
Well, first of all, my house would be in pretty bad shape because if this water keeps coming in, it's going to be doing damage to the house that I have, and I don't want to lose the value of my home. Like it says, water damage, I know from the past, the water can do a lot of damage to a home. And I have, with these windows, it's a lifetime guarantee. Even if I sell the house, I can pass it on to the new owners. And God forbid, if anything happens, the seal breaks, or the grates fall out, or the screen gets torn, or somebody throws a ball out the window and it breaks, they'll replace it free of charge for the rest of my life.
Okay, and have you sold any of your other payments from this structured settlement?
Yeah, this would be the final. This would be the final payment I had left.
Okay, so you have
I've
done this.
sold. Yeah, this is my third time doing this.
Okay, and how were those funds used when you've sold it in the made the sales in the past?
I use those funds for, like, you know, if I wanted to go out someplace or something special came along. Like I have a brunch club I started in my community. I live in a 55 community. I'm trying to get the shut-ins out. But now because of this virus, I think I'm going to need a crowbar to get them outside now because they were fighting me tooth and nail before. The last luncheon we had was at Olga's. I had 21 out of 50. I invited 50 of my neighbors, and I had 21 that showed up, and everybody was thanking me, and they had a great time. So I'm hoping to continue this after this virus headache is over, to get my neighbors back together. It helps people, like I said, because some people they won't even come out on their porch or their deck. Some people wouldn't. I mean, I had to basically beg them to come sit out on the porch and talk to me. And I had this one couple, they were in their late 80s, and they said they don't go anywhere. I said, well, what happens if I buy you breakfast and I come sit with you on the porch? And they said to me, no, I don't leave my house. And what I'm afraid of with all this stuff going on, it's going to be harder to get these older people out of the house. I try to tell them how important sunlight is, that they need sunlight every day, at least for 15 minutes a day, because they otherwise don't get enough vitamin D.
Okay, well, let me
like I said, I had a good turnout last time, so.
Okay, so let me just ask you a couple more questions. As if you don't receive this $250 per month, will you receive enough through your disability or Social Security to sustain you each month?
Yes.
Okay, so you won't have any difficulty with your living expenses or with medical expenses or any other essential life expenses between June of 2020 and April of 2034 if you don't receive this $250 per month?
No, I'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. All right. And I know you said you didn't speak to, you waived your rights to speak with an attorney. You didn't speak to the attorney that represented you relating to this 2005 call?
No.
Okay. All right. Did you need any other time to discuss this, this sale with anyone, or did you have any other questions about it?
No.
Okay.
I'm fine with everything, Judge.
Okay. And you're entering into this agreement voluntarily. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
And you've already explained that you're not under the influence of any medication, drugs, alcohol, and nobody has forced you or coerced you into this agreement. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Did you have any questions for the court?
I was just wondering, with the money they're taking out, is that taxes that they're paying taxes towards this, or how does that work? Like, I know we have to, and when I make my taxes up, I have to pay taxes towards it. Is any of that money that they're taking out, is that going towards taxes, or is that just going to the company?
So I can answer that for you, Mr. Giacomo. So this entire transaction is tax-free. So my client will likely pay income tax on it later on down the line, but you don't have to pay any tax on any of this. It's all a tax-free transaction. And that's one of the interesting things about the federal tax law says if the judge approves this, then you can go through it without any tax consequences. So it'll come into you just like,
Oh,
Any other questions?
so when I go to make out the taxes, no, that's the only thing is because I got to make, when the everything opens up, I got to go make my taxes out. Okay. No, that was the only question I had. So I don't have to pay taxes on any of this money that I turned over to JT Wentworth, right?
Right, that's correct. With this transaction, and I understand your prior transactions you may have done, you don't have to pay it. Those are non-taxable as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. It's good to know.
Anything else, Mr. Giacomo?
No, that about does it.
Mr. Rivera, did you have anything else that you wanted the court to know?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I do believe that a proposed order has been uploaded onto eCourts. It should have all the correct values reflected in it. Other than that, I believe everything's been covered. Okay,
great. And I do have a copy of that order in front of me. I think it was uploaded on the 13th. So thank you for appearing today and for the submissions via eCourts. The court has had an opportunity to review everything and to hear the testimony as well as the argument presented today. And as a result of the information provided, the court makes the following findings. First, in having heard from Ms. DiGiacomo, the court finds that despite the fact that Ms. DiGiacomo admittedly has had some short-term memory loss in the past, she had no difficulties presenting her testimony today. She was very articulate in her testimony. She clearly understood the transaction that is being entered into today. She explained her prior accident dating back to 2005, the fact that she did have this settlement, and this is the third time that she is making a sale relating to the settlement proceeds. She explained that she now receives disability, Social Security. She lives alone except for her two puppies. She has two grown children, but no dependents. She's seeking to make this sale relating to her need to replace some windows in her house, which are leaking. She feels that if she does not make those repairs to her home, that she might not be able to. It sounds like she might not be able to stay in that home for long term. So obviously, that is a a necessity for Ms. DiGiacomo. Additionally, she unfortunately suffered a stroke and concussion and some falls that followed in October of 2019, requiring some dental work. So she's looking to utilize the proceeds of this sale for that as well. Clearly, Ms. DiGiacomo's life will be enhanced by being able to make these changes in her life that she's seeking, both through the windows as well as the dental work. Additionally, she has testified, and the court accepts that she will be able to sustain her way of living without receiving the $250 monthly payments from June of 2020 until April of 2034. Ms. DiGiacomo has also been diligent in apparently shopping around to make sure that she received a good deal relating to this sale of the settlement. And so I do find that this sale is in Ms. DiGiacomo's best interest, and it will improve her life in addressing this need, rather urgent need to her house relating to the leaking windows, as well as the dental work that's needed given her unfortunate health circumstances within this past year. That makes this loss of the future income and receipt of a lesser sum an investment in Ms. DiGiacomo's future, enhancing her life in a meaningful way. As such, I will go ahead and I will approve this sale, and I will prepare the order, and we'll get that out to you early. Well, no, it's Wednesday. We'll probably get it out to you by the end of the week.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
For appearing by video today. I know it's a little unconventional, but I'm glad we were able to make it work. And thanks for doing it.
All right. Thank you.
Stay healthy, everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.